Hi YouTube, it's daily update time. Out of so many things that you ask me on a daily basis, occasionally you'll ask me about myself, and I, as usual, do not talk about it. Today I will. Today you have asked me to channel an aspect of my higher self known as Katara. A couple of years ago, you asked me to channel an aspect of my higher self known as Estrella. Names aren't really a thing, with fully integrated aspects, but they will comply and give themselves a name. So many people ask about names for spirit guides and things of that nature. And in a fully mind-body-spirit complex, a fully integrated mind-body-spirit complex, name is a body-mind thing. In spirit, there aren't really names. That's just an attributed thing that happens to be given to you when you request it. Something that's really hard for most of humanity to grasp is that when you're talking to your spirit guide, basically they just give you a name that will most resonate to you. And in most dimensionalities, names aren't even used. Can you imagine that? So I'll start there. Many people ask about my particular ambassadorship, what council I'm from, what planets I'm from, and what that happens, how that happens, why I'm on Earth, things of that nature. And then you also ask about my deep connection to galactic history and why I'm so interested in galactic history and why this comes about. We haven't talked about galactic history, even though I have about 4 galactic history classes on my website. We haven't discussed galactic history in a very long time. So today we're going to be discussing a group called the Confederation and the Council of Nine. We're going to be discussing all the beings on the Council of Nine in terms of what they do, what names they've given you over time, how that connects to my work with Dolores Cannon, how that connects to my work with Ra, or otherwise known as the Ra Group, whatever name most resonates to you. And we're going to be discussing the current shift and the galactic history point in the current shift. Give me just 5 minutes, baby, okay? And we're going to be discussing that in grand detail in regards to so many people have asked me questions about certain beings, like why did I channel Hitler? What roles do negative entities have on this planet? Why suffering is allowed to happen, and why that theory of allowed is not exactly the right resonance in term for what's going on. We're going to be discussing what you know as the veil and how beings and entities can penetrate it, and we're going to be discussing that in a non-fear-based way, just the science and the facts of how that actually happens and what's going on, in the extraterrestrial realm, as you might call it. So these are things that we can discuss sort of in a way that just sticks to the galactic history portion of what actually happened on this planet and why and how that works. And the 7 densities that people generally operate within and that all beings generally operate within. We're going to be discussing natural laws of this environment and universal laws and how this work together or not, and what happens when an entire species begins to not follow natural law. And what happens when some do and some don't, which is what's happening right now. So there's a lot in relation to the shift that I'd like to address today. I'm going to link it up below. I hope to see you there. The particular ambassador that we're talking to is Katara. So you're welcome to learn all about that ambassador and her work through me and her work with Dolores, etc., today at 1 p.m. I'll see you there. And I hope that some of my explanation about names and why we resonate with names, but why actually integrated mind, body, spirit complexes, once they shed the body, they don't have names. I hope that makes some sense, but you're welcome to ask me in the comments below if you're curious about it. I'll see you today.